What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories in wrestling you need to know, including Triple H thinking two current superstars, could this be generations Rock versus Austin? Seth has real life heat with Matt Riddle over Becky Lynch. Updates on the 2020 WWE Draft. Ric Flair not apologizing for dropping the N-word. The Rock is the most followed man in America, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Our first story looks at Triple H seeing this program as the modern day Rock versus Austin. Our wrestling fans will forever remember the epic feud between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, but can the WWE ever recapture this magic? Well, Triple H thinks so, and discussed this during an appearance at the New York Comic Con, as the game talked about how the WWE Draft creates suspense as to when two superstars such as Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns will be on the same roster so they can do battle. Helmsley remarked, "I would love to see that percolate because I think that a couple of years down the road, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre is a Hulk Hogan Ric Flair scenario, the Rock Stone Cold Steve Austin scenario, and you don't want to hit that before it peaks." That's what makes the draft so exciting to me, is those moments in time where you were like, well, what if? And then what if becomes a reality. A Stone Cold Steve Austin vs. The Rock was a definitive program that epitomized the Attitude Era, with two larger-than-life megastars embroiled in one of wrestling's greatest feuds. McIntyre vs. Reigns could be huge if booked right, but for now it appears the WWE has other plans for both superstars, as they're on separate brands anyway. But if both men are still world champions at Survivor Series, they could lock up if the WWE continues its inter-brand matches. But would you guys like to see Drew McIntyre vs. Roman Reigns? Do you think this is this generation's Rock vs. Austin? To be honest, I don't think so. Those were two megastars colliding. McIntyre and Reigns are stars, but probably not in that caliber, unfortunately. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Seth Rollins has legit heat with Matt Riddle over Becky Lynch. A recent comments made by Seth Rollins about Matt Riddle have fans wondering what's going on between the two. Rollins noted in the WWE Draft watch-along special that "I've got no interest in facing Matt Riddle at any point in my career, so he can go to Raw as far as I'm concerned." A fan's wondering if Rollins was merely playing his heel character and belittling the Ultimate Bro, or whether there might be some actual animosity. Well, it seems that the heat stems from a deleted Instagram post from Matt Riddle's wife Lisa, which has fans thinking she may have angered Rollins. Here's what Lisa had to say, calling out multiple main roster divas over the past couple of weeks for being straight, skinny, jiggly, fat. Not saying they aren't beautiful, just saying squat. It's funny because there have been multiple female wrestlers that have asked to train with me. Each one of them look great in their gear. Clearly, they know what they're doing, especially if they want to train with yours truly. All females freaking squat and go hard. I do not have many photos of my rear end in minimal clothing besides these two. Here is a comparison of me, not caring what I look like, just trying to be a strong and decent Olympic lifter, and mom of three versus two females getting paid a ton of money for how they look. Rant over. Now, one of the WWE women in Lisa's picture is Becky Lynch, which could explain why Seth Rollins didn't take too kindly to the remarks. According to Wrestling News' Paul Davis, there may be further evidence of a real-life rivalry between Matt and Seth. Davis quoted a tweet from a fan who claims he went to dinner with Riddle and Riddle could not stop bad-mouthing Rollins. While a second-hand social media post is hardly evidence of a feud, it's worth mentioning at least. Rollins has enough clout that he could refuse to work with Riddle, and depending on how Candy Cartwright's lawsuit against Riddle goes, Riddle may not be in the WWE once the facts are sorted out regarding her speaking out allegations against him. Next up, unfortunately some sad news, as Scott Hall could be out of control again. Now, you may know WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall has battled with personal demons, and they've been well documented. Although Hall has been doing well over the last few years thanks to DDP, a new story suggests he may have suffered a setback. According to a report from Ringside News, Hall was scheduled to make a virtual meet and greet for Dark Parlor Originals, which included him signing items. However, according to the report, he showed up and was intoxicated to the point where they could not go live. Dark Parlor Originals handled things the best way they could. They went live without Hall and promised to get everything signed if they just needed Scott Hall or Razor Ramon on it. but they couldn't do inscriptions. We've heard that Scott Hall became argumentative and he was wearing a ripped glove, slurring his speech, and he was having a difficult time signing anything. We hope Hall is really doing better and this incident has nothing to do with his best battles with personal demons. Next up, WWE's original plans for Brock Lesnar versus a new superstar. Now it appears that WWE had big plans for Brock Lesnar, a new superstar in 2019, that got scrapped thanks to the injury bug. According to Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp, originally WWE had major plans for Lars Sullivan, including a tentative match with Brock Lesnar upon his first call-up. Sullivan debuted in early 2019 and was supposed to work a match with John Cena at WrestleMania 35, quite an honor for a newcomer. However, Sullivan reportedly suffered anxiety attacks that sidelined him from the feud, and when he finally got back on track, he was sidelined by a devastating knee injury. His past also led to controversy when it was revealed that he had made controversial comments on a message board, leading to a heavy fine from the WWE. But judging by Sullivan's recent return, it seems that the WWE is ready to give him another big push. Will we ever see him against Brock Lesnar? Who knows? But would you guys like to see that? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a WWE Draft update. If you're wondering what happened to the WWE superstars who were not drafted on night 1 of the 2020 draft, you may recall that anyone who was not drafted could become a free agent, and now Fightful Select is reporting on who is staying on their respective brands and who is leaving. Humberto Carrillo stays on Raw, Murphy moves to SmackDown, Drew Gulak moves to Raw, Kalisto stays on SmackDown, and Tucker moves to Raw. Now, Buddy Murphy's move to SmackDown isn't a surprise, as he's right in the middle of a Seth Rollins vs Mysterio family feud. Drew Gulak hasn't been doing much on the blue brand since his initial push, and he can't do any worse on Raw. As for Heavy Machinery splitting up, it's a bad sign for Tucker and another example of the WWE's indifference to its tag division. Next up, Teddy Long claims Ric Flair never apologized for calling him the N-word. Teddy Long has been in the wrestling business for decades, having interacted with hundreds of performers. During an appearance on Hannibal TV, Long recalled a negative experience with Ric Flair after some women used Long's name to try to get backstage. I don't even know who they were. I was refereeing. They used my name and said that I told them that they could come in or they could come back to the door or something like that. So he runs into me and the next thing I hear him, Flair, say to me is, "N-word, do you like working here?" When asked if Flair ever apologized, Long revealed, "No, I don't think he has." I mean, if he had, I would know. No, he hasn't. Here's the thing about that. Sometimes people don't apologize, like come up to you and say they apologize. Sometimes they can speak to you and maybe try and hold a conversation with you to let you know in so many words. Teddy said he's put the past behind him and doesn't expect an apology. But now that the story is out, perhaps he might. Next up, how Kevin Owens almost moved to NXT. Kevin Owens' surprise appearance at NXT TakeOver in 2019 has fans wondering whether he'll be moved to the black and gold brand. While that didn't happen, Owens recently spoke with Bleacher Report about how it almost did. Last year at some point I was going back to NXT, it was all in motion and it was going to happen, and then it didn't. To say that's a thought that crossed my mind would be an understatement, but I would tell you right now that's not the case anymore. That's just not where I'm at anymore. Now, I want to be on Raw or be on SmackDown and just fight like hell to create some memorable moments for everybody. That's all I want at this point. The former Universal Champion is keeping busy on Raw as Aleister Black has targeted him, and in addition, Owens battled a Fiend on SmackDown in an interpromotional match. And finally, congratulations to The Rock. Last but not least, congratulations to The Rock on his latest success as the most electrifying man in sports entertainment has become the most followed man in America, with Hypebeast reporting that The Rock has hit 200 million followers on Instagram. The magic number for this accomplishment was just over 200 million followers, 38 million under the current world leader Cristiano Ronaldo. Combined with his other platforms, Johnson revealed that he has over 300 million followers in total, just 28 million less than the population of the United States. The Rock posted a thank you to his fans, and we want to wish him congratulations. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.